Yeah, that way he can go back to his kids and his family, and you can go to your sisters, and I can stay here in this parking lot all by myself, because that's obviously what everybody wants.
Hello and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you'll ever listen to.
Welcome, spooky bitches. Brian Hopwood Lagrasta and Shane Gilgamesh of Main Street Hackensack, the first of his name, Smith. And this is a very special episode of our Christmas horror theme, because we have Tim in studio today.
Let's go, baby. Let's go, baby.
Always a pleasure to have Tim on. What was the last one you were on? They Live was the last one?
I think actually, Silent Hill. I delivered a letter from your daughter.
Yeah,
yes.
they were Silent Hill.
And then you went on a quest, I think.
Yeah, I still have that letter in my room.
Good.
I can never get rid of it.
Do you occasionally open it and it says different things?
Yes, of course.
That's
like
good.
You've
Okay.
cursed me.
Yeah, you're
You
welcome.
have cursed me.
You're welcome. Well, I'm not here to curse you today. I'm just happy to be here.
That's good. That's very, very good. Yeah, I'm just like, I was looking through the schedule real quick because I am trying to remember exactly what was the last one you were on.
100th episode, in all honesty.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
I was there for the
technically it
100th.
was the 100th.
Yeah, I had two letters. I think one of them was
You had two good letters, if I remember. You had libido, right?
I had libido, and then I can't remember the one, but I know she got killed.
Klutz.
She got
Yeah,
killed by a killer poop. I remember that.
And you're right. Silent Hill did come out after They Live, so the 100th and then Silent Hill. So it has been a while since you've been on.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm back in the studio. I'm truly grateful, and I'm really excited to be with you.
We're
boys.
happy to
We're happy to have you, especially since we booked you for quite a few in the future.
Yeah. And this is also Christmas. It's a festive.
Yes,
It's a
week
festive
3
It's a
of
celebration.
Christmas.
And it's also a Christmas-themed horror movie.
Yes, yes.
With Wes Bentley and Rachel
Love it.
Nichols, not the ESPN analyst that's no longer there, but but Rachel Nichols, the one from Rage with Nicolas Cage. And that TV show on Sci-Fi, Continuum.
It's getting
Never
work.
even heard of it.
A lot of work.
heard of it.
You're looking at me like I'm speaking.
You're like, yeah.
No, I just didn't know what that show was.
Okay. Sci-Fi Network for you.
Yeah. Sci-Fi Network had some real hits back in the day.
Okay.
You used to get to watch movies at like 11 p.m. like called Mosquito, where there was giant mosquitoes. There was Rawhead Rex.
Lou Diamond Phillips is in almost all of them.
Oh my God, Route 666 starring Lou Diamond Phillips.
Bats.
starring Sci-Fi Network. I don't watch like cable TV anymore. So does Sci-Fi still do that where it's like on Saturday nights from like 11 p.m. to like 2 a.m. they just play the cheesiest like
I think that's
movie.
the entire shtick.
Is it still?
I feel
That's
like it
incredible.
is, yeah.
Why would they get rid of something that works so well?
That's a great point. Because that was when I was a kid, me and my mom, every Saturday night, we would throw on Sci-Fi and watch like the cheesy. I think that's also what helped me get into horror movies, was watching those cheesy sci-fi horror movies.
Yeah, you develop like a special appreciation for the fact that you're going to get content you can't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
That's why they're still on today, and we all appreciate it.
One more I just want to throw out there. Pumpkinhead with like Lance Hendrick.
Henriksen, yeah.
Incredible.
I love that movie.
I loved it that was a Sci-Fi Channel movie I got into.
Yeah, I love that movie.
I guess the question is, when are you guys going to do a Lou Diamond Phillips month?
Oh God, that is definitely something that we have to consider for sure.
Okay.
He's got a lot.
So we have to do it on Final Friday because we have to do Death Toll.
That is one of the worst movies I've ever seen. Like, that's really it's like DMX, like bad DMX.
Like DMX monologues the entire movie. Yeah. And Lou Diamond Phillips plays what, like a mayor?
Yeah, it's fucking bad. Like bad.
DMX like, yeah, my brother's dead.
Like not funny bad. That's the problem.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah.
We'll have to show you it one day,
Lou
Tim.
Diamond was in that.
Yeah.
Wow. Horrible.
Sign me up for that month. I'm in.
There you go.
I love it. I love it. We'll definitely do Route 666, the staple Lou Diamond Phillips movie.
No, he's got a lot of
The height of his career, if
Yes.
you will.
What a legend.
So let's talk about someone else who's at the height of their career. Wes Bentley here in P2.
Sure.
He was in American Beauty.
Yep.
Great movie. Some say it was his best until he was in P2.
Well, I mean, he's got to do American Beauty and then obviously P2, the sequel to American Beauty.
Yes. So Brian has a theory that when he left his home in American Beauty, this is actually where he ended up.
Yeah, that's where he ended up.
You know, I could actually see that. There is definitely connectivity there.
I mean, What do you think? Like a dude that would literally film paper bags and watch his neighbors undress and videotape it. Why would he? What he does the next best thing? Becomes a parking lot security guard staring at cameras.
And he videotapes her.
And videotapes
There's
her.
a very particular videotape scene that is very reminiscent. I was really expecting to be like, this is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
It would have been iconic if he put a plastic bag on her head.
Incredible. There's just so much beauty in the world.
I'm demanding the remaster of this film where they just get rid of Rachel Weisz's head and just put a bag over it.
Rachel Nichols.
Rachel, oh my God, I'm getting them confused. I've had too much Pop's Blue Ribbon and I've only had 2 cents.
Just bag her head real quick.
Oh my God.
Throwback.
Yo. You want to just
yeah, we're gonna get
let's do it. Let's dive into the Christmas spooky pit.
P2, released in 2007, after leaving work late on Christmas Eve, Angela is trapped in a parking garage by a deranged madman. Film directed by Frank Calhoun, stars Rachel Nichols as Angela, Wes Bentley as Tom, and Simon Reynolds as Mr. Harper, who is a potential rapist, especially when he gets too much alcohol on a Christmas party. Right? Christmas party?
It was a Christmas party.
That's P2.
Yeah. Your description of the movie was more detailed for the actual movie than the storyline written on IMDb, where they just described Rachel Nichols' body pretty much the entire.
I mean, it's a simple plot.
It is.
Like, it's
but at
really
least
simple.
you at least described the plot and not Rachel Nichols' body like IMDb did.
Like, he is a legitimate sociopath.
Yes.
Like, he has obviously some kind of social awkward tendencies to him. As I'm sure all security guards working those late night shifts do. Not the stereotype, but I mean.
He can't. He doesn't understand what he's doing is wrong. Like, he thinks he's doing the right thing.
Well, I think Tim raised a good point too, because the thing is, he's got this social awkward. You're right. He may think he's doing the right thing when he plays this coy, shy guy that thinks he's doing the right thing, but he breaks. And when he breaks the character, it does feel a little awkward when you're watching it.
Oh, it's incredibly cringe, but it's also very reminiscent of you think of that guy who's just I'm the hero here. I'm doing everything right for women, but everything he's doing is the exact opposite, considering there's a lot. He's very much a hypocrite if you listen to some of the dialogue between him and we'll call her the final girl, right? Mm-hmm. And just in general, he thinks everything he's doing is justified.
Yeah. So we're going to peel back scene by scene like we always do, but on that note, that's so true. If you think about it, okay, so his whole thing is he obviously likes this girl.
Yeah.
She was the victim of what could potentially have been, at the very minimum, very aggressive sexual harassment. At the very minimum.
Yeah, it's not it was sexual harassment, I would assume, because.
But it also could be considered...
He went for it, and he went for it very aggressively, but he did stop, right? That would just be sexual harassment.
I think she pushed him away and got the fuck out of the elevator.
I don't know how that works. Could that also be considered assault and battery?
I mean, if you put your hands on somebody without
it might
consent,
actually be,
there's a level of assault to that.
In any case, the response, the humane response, is obviously to tie this guy up and literally torture him with a car.
That scene's actually sick.
That scene is really great.
I was finding the level of gore or violence questionable up until that moment, and my jaw actually dropped because I wasn't expecting it.
That was sick.
That scene is wild. Sick. All right, so let's get into it a little bit. It actually opens with a girl bursting out of a trunk.
I actually really like that shot.
Yeah.
And the emphasis is actually I think the logo of the movie is they just show
P2.
They always emphasize it, which I really like.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's shot well. It's interesting.
Yeah,
I like the setting, man.
Me too.
I do. I like the setting.
For a movie where it's literally filmed in one spot, in which I believe they filmed in a Toronto parking garage, and it's just mainly there's 2 actors in the whole movie, pretty much for the most part. It's very well done.
One thing that I could say that I really like about this movie, the atmosphere is good because it's very relatable. I legitimately feel you literally can't exit the building. It locks down and you can't leave.
It's very realistic.
Scary.
That's the thing.
Scary,
yeah.
That's how a lot of offices in the city are. And I actually didn't know that they filmed it in Toronto. It was really funny because I was watching with Becca with 2 C's and she's in the city a lot. So and I don't want to give too much away, but the final shot they actually have to show the outside of the building. She goes, "That's not Park Avenue." And then a whole several hours pass. Let's say 8 hours pass. I go down and see her, and she's having one of her like woke blunt moments. Yeah. And she turns around. She goes, "Now I know why they called it Park Avenue." And I'm like, "Why?" Because it was in a parking garage. And I got really angry. But I was like, "God damn it, that's so on the nose."
I mean, they are supposed to be where? California, right?
I think they're the city. They're supposed to be New York City.
Oh, yeah. He's from California.
He's
moved
from
to New York.
California. Right, because the opening shot, they show the Empire State Building and all that fun stuff.
She's from Maine as a farm
and she
girl.
moved to,
whatever the hell that town is. I don't know.
Reedsville. Yeah, so it is unrealistic because no matter what time of day in New York City it is, there is people on the street and the road.
That's a fact.
So,
it's pretty much crowded 24/7.
Yeah, but we'll get to that. So once we get out of that, the opening jumps, her coming down the trunk, the P2, all that. We see her. She's in her office. Her boss, Jim, comes in and he's like, "I'm really sorry for how I acted at the Christmas party. Like, that's not me. Like, I have a wife and kids. That's not me." Yeah. And she's like, "No, it's fine. Don't worry about it."
She's like, "It's fine. Like, I got to do work." Yeah. One thing I did like from her, like, her character is very driven, like motivated, like a hard worker, definitely works late hours.
She's doing a business.
Definitely never going to get married or have kids. No. Kind of worker, just grinding it out in New York City.
Yes, that's 100% what she is.
Not like a bad person, but doesn't want to have excess conversations with other people.
Even the way she dresses, her hair, everything she does about it, she doesn't put a lot of focus on herself. It's all in the results of her work.
Yes.
Right? She's very
and they did that, I think, on purpose to contrast to what Wes Bentley does, like how he dresses her and like
how he sees her.
Exactly.
Right.
Which is not how she sees herself at all.
Right. No.
So it actually is.
But like even in the conversations, not to cut you off, but like she's always late to things.
Yes.
She's never like hanging out with her family too much or with her friends because she's probably fucking working all day.
Yeah, she is a hard worker because she works at what, a law office or something like that?
It was very generic. Like all I remember from the phone call that made me laugh was just like, "I wanted $3 million, not $2 million, and you better send that fax over." And she's like, "I'm doing a business.
I'm businessing right now.
I'm doing business stuff."
It wasn't as like job specific as like stocks, dividends, bonds. It was just business.
I'm trying to remember, but I'm pretty sure that what was the boss's name? Jim?
Jim. It was Jim.
Jim comes in at one point. I thought Jim said something like, "Hey, great job on the Goldman account," or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Okay, are we finance? Like you're not giving me enough context." She's fine.
She's something. So she's gonna talk to her sister on her phone. She's like, "I'm leaving the office right now. I'll be there shortly." As she's walking out, she runs into Karl, the security guard, which, as Tim alluded to, he has a lot of keys. And he has the key to the elevator. And he's going to go in the elevator with her and let her into the parking garage. Where was the couple in there?
I don't know what that was. They went down a floor. That couple gets on, has a bit of a spat, right? And then we never see them again. But what I was mentioning before too, and I have to say this because it was driving me nuts. I want to say they show a shot of Karl locking down the floors like 3 or 4 times. Twice would be nice. Thrice is too much, and quadruple, we are gone. And I was mad.
I love my security guards with severe OCD.
I love that if I was stuck in an elevator, Karl would make sure I wouldn't get out.
He's locking it up.
He's locking up shop. She says goodnight to Karl. They head to the garage. She gets to her car. Car won't start.
Oh, you hate that.
So one thing I'm going to bring up is if you notice in this garage, there's a lot of extra cars in the garage. I believe it's also a rental cars place.
Is P2 the rental deck or was P3 the rental deck?
One of them's a rental deck because you would question, it's like, oh, there's got to be other people in the building with all these cars. But there is a specific area where it does say rental cars, like written on the wall. Yes. So I just want to point that out because we're going to talk about a lot of random cars being there.
Yes, absolutely.
She goes to the security office, and that's where we're introduced to Wes Bentley. A.K.A. what's his name?
Thomas.
Because
Tom.
This is a man. This is a man who hates hearing his name. Tom. I know what you're trying to do. You can't humanize me.
I love him.
He's incredible.
He's literally off the fucking reservation.
Yeah. right away, this guy gives off creepy vibes.
Oh, he's got a dog named Rocky.
Who he is just a barker.
Big time barker.
Yeah, won't stop. She's gonna be like, "Hey, my car won't start. Can you just like let me get out and I'll like call a cab?" No, it's so cold. I could jump start it.
You know, I don't even want to waste my time. I'm really running behind. I'm late. I better get going. It will take a few minutes. She's like, oh, okay, like hesitant.
Yeah.
But he's gonna try to jump it.
Yeah.
Right. Doesn't go anywhere.
No. I had a question about this because I don't know. I wanted to go back and rewatch it, but I'm wondering if he intentionally didn't put the jumper cables on the right contact points, because you notice how the lights came on, but nothing started, which I feel like would be indicative of if you cross the two.
Yeah.
Like he did that on purpose.
100%. That's how I took it as well.
You don't think he cut the fuel line?
He could have too.
Or it was an old BMW and it was just a piece of shit.
Because I'm no car person, but if you cut the fuel line, your battery would still work.
That's actually a good point, because that was done in the video game The Quarry.
Oh, so we're confirming that because based on Quarry.
Yeah, one of the options is you can cut the fuel line so the car don't start.
That's right. Yeah.
So
that's a West Bentley move.
Yeah. So I am confirming it works.
I guess either would make sense then.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, he definitely sabotaged her car to get her to stay. Obviously.
Oh, sorry.
You're good.
You're good. Once he doesn't get it to start, and he's like walking her to the elevator, up to this point, he seemed a little weird, but he also could just be an awkward guy who, he's talking to a hot girl. Then when they're going to the elevator, he's like, I made a Christmas dinner if you want, to stay and have dinner here. No guy in their right mind thinks that's the offer that's going to get you the date.
No, I really made it for myself, but kind of want to tag team that with me. She clearly just said she needs to go. She's in a rush.
Yeah,
she's not gonna subvert her plans just to go.
Yeah. That's not the pickup line to use.
Hang out with me and my dog. Just
on Christmas Eve. I'm sure you don't have family or anything.
Well, he says I'm kidding too, right? When she doesn't go for it, he's like, I'm kidding.
It's that defensive tactic where it's like, I never meant it anyway. And on the inside, you're like, I'm dying.
That was
life over.
That's when he crossed that creepy boundary, I think, a little bit.
Because he's like, maybe, we'll do it some other time.
Yeah.
Do you think if she just said yes, this would have completely changed the trajectory of the evening? If she just went with it, had the dinner, and left?
Yes.
Yeah, I actually do think so.
I actually think so. I think if because in fairness, all he wanted was the date with her.
He wanted some companionship.
So if they would have just had dinner together, I think they just would have had a nice dinner until the potential we have to murder your boss now part of dinner. But other than that,
yeah, that's true. He's been waiting.
He would have been wrapped up.
Yeah. But I do think she wouldn't have been tied up or anything.
No,
I think everything would have went normal until that.
It could have. I think it would have went off the rails by the time he's like, let me show you something. Let's go for a ride. And at that point, I think that's when it would have been, this has gone completely off the rails.
This is a problem.
Be right back on track for the rest of the movie.
Yeah. Yeah, that obviously she declined. She goes upstairs. She calls a cab, but now we hit some problems. I'll let you talk about that. I'll go get the paper.
Yeah, it's on. She can't exit the building. That's the problem. She goes to the glass. She can't exit the building. The cab is waiting for her. The cab is beeping. It's not happy. It wants to go. You got money to be made.
It's a typical New York cab.
I
don't have time for this.
Don't have time. But she's like, wait, one more minute. So she goes to try to I guess go behind the security desk and try to hit to release the doors to get out there. Doesn't work.
No, not at all. But the funny thing is, I'm pretty sure you have to, it's a buzzer. You have to hold it down. And she kind of does a little beep, beep, and then she runs for the door and can't get it in time.
You remember one of those video games you're going to stand on a platform till the door opens?
And then run to it?
You got to put a statue or something on there?
Dude, I swear to God, I was thinking the same exact thing, Bri. I was like, this is a Resident Evil puzzle.
Oh, yeah.
She needs to find the item that holds the button in for her.
For sure.
Maybe it's just me, but I think because of the year that this was shot in, I just maybe it was the color and tones and the camera shots gave me that weird Resident Evil vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was expecting a zombified Rocky to come chase after her at some point,
Oh my God,
that makes sense. It kind of gives me some Resident Evil 2 vibes.
It does, the building they're in. Yeah.
But I like it's not a bright movie. It's a dark, dismal movie.
Yeah.
It's cool.
So Karl's missing and she can't get out. So she's going to go back downstairs and she's going to She goes right back to Tom to ask for help.
She literally has no other option. And Tom is literally nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
This is actually where she says something fucking nasty to him, too, if I'm not mistaken. When she buzzes him and she's like, wake the fuck up or something like that.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right, yeah.
Which, I don't think she's mad at him.
It's the situation.
It's the situation.
Yeah.
She's just
She wants to
frustrated.
get home. Like,
Yeah,
I think,
which is fair because if she has a tendency of being late, like...
Always, yeah. I think there was a lot of pressure on her to... They'll explain it a little bit later, but I think she had, like, something she was supposed to not only show up to the family Christmas party, but she was actually supposed to do something at the family Christmas party, which they'll go into when they have the phone call later.
Yes. So she goes down into the parking garage. She actually sees the cab drive away.
Classic.
And that's when Tom chloroforms her from behind.
Yeah, well, also the trigger point, which is the creepy point. The point where, like, you know, like, she's fucking fucked is, like, the lights overhead just go out in all parts of the lot.
One thing I want to say is that something I especially liked about horror films that were done during this time is the fact that back in the day, that light on that flip phone was fucking garbage.
Yeah.
And it brought me such anxiety. One, because I've been trapped in a parking garage and I was fucking scared. And secondly, if I had a flip phone, I would have peed my pants. And she's walking around with this flip phone, right? And then that's the thing. Like, he comes perfectly up from behind, just boom, gets her.
Yeah.
It's wild.
Very survival horror game feel.
Yeah.
With the fucking
100%.
The low brightness flip phone.
I just need to deviate. You were trapped in a parking garage?
Yeah. I went to go see Lord, which, you know, I wanted to be cool. And I got out of the... I had a couple of beers, and I ended up going back to the parking garage late. And then I realized I couldn't get out. And I think it wasn't the fact that I was trapped that made me scared. There was another guy in the parking garage with me, sitting in his car just idling. And I'm like, does he know he can't get out either? And if he does, is he just waiting for me to realize that so he can kill me? And I spent the entire time like doing the same thing that she did in the movie. I'm like, wake the fuck up. Someone please let me out. I'm like yelling. I was trapped in there for probably a half hour.
It's terrifying.
Jesus.
They had to send,
really scary.
They actually didn't have security on site. They had to send a remote command to the door from like some management site like miles away.
Question. When you left, did the guy who was idling leave?
No. That's why I'm...
So is that his home?
I'm pretty damn sure he was going to kill me if I stayed a little bit longer and or I put on a white dress.
Yeah. Oh my. All right, so let's talk about white dresses. Because Angela's going to wake up in the security office, dinner in front of her, in now a white dress, looking very voluptuous. As
a buxom businesswoman.
Yes, she is a buxom businesswoman looking voluptuous in a white dress, as IMDb would describe. And Tom is like, hey, I got dinner for you. Like, I got some turkey, some mash. Would you like some red wine? He pours the house red, a man of class.
A California wine, if I remember correctly.
I'm sure that aged well.
And then he does this thing that I feel like you never do on a first date, which is talk about Ernest Hemingway.
Well, he's got a good, nice read about like falling in love and shit.
So this is another Becca with 2 C's fact. When he brings up that book, she just stops the film and goes, that is one of Hemingway's worst books. And it's about a guy who got his dick blown off during World War I, and his girl keeps going to fuck other dudes because he can't get it up.
Wow. One thing that's fucking sick, number one, that's fucking crazy. Apparently Tom, this psychopath, loves it. But isn't Hemingway, like, super loner?
Yes.
And they, like, a lot of his, like, reflected in a lot of his work?
Yes, he's a very depressing... Like, he's like a hopeless romantic, right? Like,
alcoholic.
Yeah.
What was the name of the book? Is it like The Sun Also Rises or something? Because I felt like that was a play on the fact that, there's some horror element there where it's like, oh, well, if you get to the daytime, everything will be okay, right?
Yeah.
I feel like it was very on the nose.
Yeah. And there's no daytime overhead here because it's in a fucking parking garage.
Oh, my God. Yeah, so she starts panicking, and she goes with a great strategy here. She's like, my boyfriend's going to come. He's going to look for me. I'm supposed to be somewhere.
The classic boyfriend tactic.
Yeah. And he gets
in this situation, smart play.
He's immediately attentive to that.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, you have a boyfriend. Are you guys serious?
I love that she uses friggin'... She's like... He's like, yeah, he's a journalist. He's a writer for The Post.
Mark Clayton.
Yeah, who actually... Wasn't that the guy who used to be on like ESPN or something?
There was a Mark Clayton, you're right.
Is that the same guy who wrote sport? Because she says he's a sports journalist.
For the
She
post.
did for the post.
For the post online pivot.
I think she probably just took the name, but
Mark Clayton, yeah. So he's then who said it that was their favorite part? Where he's like, he drives up to.
I love that part. One of my favorite lines in the movie.
Yeah. He's like, that's a fast car. He could be here right now.
He could be here any minute. He like actually opens the fucking door, and I was literally fucking crying last night when I was watching that. It's a fast car.
He plays into it so well during this part, and I know she's just sweating bullets because as she continues to double down on this lie and keep building off of it, it's not looking good for her.
No, yeah.
And he's like, you know, you're a busy woman. You don't got time for a social life. You don't got a boyfriend.
Yeah, so didn't you like say like she's either the boyfriend will be here like any minute or she's a fucking liar?
Liar, yeah. After they realize that that's not happening, he makes her call her family and say like she's not going to make it.
I have the flu.
Yeah.
And I thought that was so interesting because you hear them because I think it was she was calling her sister, right? Or it's like she has at least a sister and a brother-in-law or at least two siblings and then the mother. And everybody is chiming in going, oh, she fucking did it again. This is her canceling. Of course she wouldn't show up. And I remember them saying something like she was supposed to wear the outfit. I was like, what fucking outfit was she supposed to wear? The Santa Claus outfit? Like
that's what I thought.
Maybe she was supposed to wear that white dress and now she's late. But it was just very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Her white dress is spectacular.
Oh, she looks great.
I'm going to just throw it out there.
If I didn't feel like
Brian can't say that.
If I didn't feel like a perverted voyeur / I like to watch, I would have been like, wow, this looks great.
You would have watched all those security cameras.
Oh my God.
All that security footage.
Just hit record. No. Yeah, because he likes to record. So after she says she can't make it, he then shows her a video of her boss. He's like, you see this shit? This is what happens.
Can you believe this?
He's done this to every woman in the office. You think you were the first?
Like, trust me, I know from experience, dude.
Now, I actually have a question. Do you think the boss has actually done this with every woman, or is he just saying this to try to egg her on to?
Probably saying this.
That's what I thought too. Actually,
he does have like. He's definitely done some research, and he definitely has like video footage of everything. So maybe it's happened before.
Yeah.
But I don't really peg this character of being like that. I think he had a mistake. Maybe he's done it maybe one other time.
Yeah, that was the thing. I don't know.
He seemed really sincere.
He did.
Am I wrong?
But he's either he could be a really good liar, but I don't know. The way the movie goes, I think we're supposed to take it as Wes Bentley's lying just to get her on his side, I guess.
Yeah, I felt that too. I think he definitely was trying to egg her on and especially make her feel a lot of animosity towards her boss for that. So, it makes sense. I mean, he could have done it, but who's to say? But that's the crazy part is this guy has all of the footage of every single thing that happens in this building.
Yeah.
Would you imagine she just made another turn and she said, you know what, let's just fucking kill him. Let's kill everybody in here.
That would have been sick.
And he would have been like, yo, sick.
We're watching Natural Born Killers too.
Born in the parking lot. Everybody dies in P2.
While he's adjusting this thing, she stabs him with a fork.
In the back of the shoulder, which really never gets looked at again.
No, it does keep the blood there, but
it doesn't affect him, is what I'm saying.
No.
He covers it up. He gets over it.
Which I feel like it would, because it's right in his shoulder blade. I feel like his range of motion.
Don't even mention it. Forget it. We're past it already.
So he brings her in the car, and they drive around. It's a very lovely drive. She keeps asking where we're going, because she's like, why are we going down? The boss roped in a chair, and she just keeps, this is the scene where she's like, Tom.
She tries to play to appealing to him and being like, I'm gonna go along with the game, but I have to do this in a humane way.
She's like, Tom, we don't have to, we just go. It was a mistake. He's like, a mistake? He's like, he does this to every woman. He probably thinks you're a slut.
A slut.
The way he emphasizes the word slut throughout the entire movie.
Yeah,
it's like a trigger word for him.
I don't think he can do the cross accent on
the
word.
That might have to be what it is, right?
It's like a crescendo when he says slut.
Yeah.
It's like he's singing it.
Yeah, it is. It's almost. This is almost a musical. This is just right there.
He's like, your boss thinks you're a slut. So
The alto, Wes Bentley, a.k.a. Thomas.
He was practicing that in his trailer before he
Oh
came out.
my
He would
God.
do like meme, like
He would
know,
do
do re mi,
heroin
but
and
he would
then,
do,
yeah.
like slot.
Do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, slide.
So he actually starts yelling at her. He's like, "Stop calling me Tom!" His flip outs
The breaks
are
weird,
like
yeah.
Nick Cage level.
Oh, they're pretty good.
I think because they had just finished filming Ghost Rider at the time. Like,
Yeah, that came out around the
He's
same
like, "Oh, Nick Cage did this. I could."
A little bit of Nick Cage rubs off on you when you're with
Yeah.
him for X amount of hours a day.
Oh, for sure.
So he's like, "We have to teach him a lesson, and you have to beat him with this flashlight."
This particular heavy set flashlight.
Yeah.
Could you imagine the batteries that are in there?
Oh,
They're
my
probably
God.
Oh
Huge.
my God.
What? They're bigger than C.
Yeah. What's bigger than CD?
D.
Okay.
Super D's. I don't even know what they call it at that point.
Yeah, there might even be triple D's.
Ooh.
Piranha 3 double D.
These batteries are
It could be anything. So Tom's like, because she does agree to do it. She's like,
Yeah.
fine, I'll do it. Which I think is her way of just getting out of the car to then run.
Yeah.
So I think he almost probably realizes that. So then he's like, you know what? You're right. I can't make you do it. You're a lady of class and you're
I
not a
have
slut.
I have to protect you
Yeah.
at all costs.
He like takes that nice guy trope to new heights.
Yeah.
So he gets out of the car and he's like, "Hey, you like touching girls, eh?" He's like, you think it's okay to keep this girl as a slut?"
California transplant New York accent by an Arkansas man. It's incredible.
So he brutally beats him with a flashlight.
Oh, yeah.
Brutally beats him.
Oh, it was incredible. Those flashlights, I have a friend who used to work security, and those things fucking like that's why they make them like that. I think so you at least have some level of self defense. But
The first hit, like, cuts him
and he's also
wide open.
lacerating him
Yeah.
while he's bludgeoning him, which is wild.
That's true, because there's probably some like sharp ridges in
Yeah.
like
Oh
part
my
of the
God.
flashlight. Because it's like heavy
Yeah.
plastic.
It's wild.
It's a bloodbath.
Um,
It only gets worse for this guy.
Oh,
yeah, because he gets back in the car.
He better be a rapist to get this punishment.
Right? Like, I
This
almost
is
hope he
horrible.
was. Because if he made one mistake, I feel really bad.
Oh, God.
So Tom gets back in the car and he's like backing up to leave. And she's like, "We can't just leave him here. Like, we got to help him." He's like, "You're right." Just fucking punches the gas
Where's that?
and stops right next to him. Like, fucking hooks the seat into the grill
Just locks in.
and then just drives off with Tom going forward. And you're like,
Going for a ride.
yeah. And you're like, oh no. When he crushes him into the wall, and you kind of just see
He
his
pops
Yo.
him like a balloon.
I didn't fucking... You see the pop, but I didn't realize his body popped.
Yeah.
Like, and then you see the scene, like him, like, just, like, falling over on the chair. And, like, he's,
guts
like...
are His
inside,
He's
yeah.
disemboweled.
Yes.
The last shot, you actually see part of his rib cage, like, sticking sideways
Yes.
out. It's
Gruesome.
actually, I was shocked how well done that was.
My jaw, I was like,
Yeah.
my jaw dropped when I watched that scene. Because up to this point, like, I was like, all right, I get a little laceration and bludgeoning, and that's nothing I haven't seen before. And then, like, that just...
I've never actually seen a scene like that.
No,
where, like,
no, it was really well done, for sure.
yeah, like, fantastic. I mean,
Anything happened in a
yeah.
parking lot, too.
Apparently.
As this happens, though, Angela finally unlocks the door, and she's able to run out and escape from him.
Yeah,
She goes to the, what's it called, security guard, and Rocky's there. She has
Yeah.
to sneak around Rocky in
Yeah,
this
she's
scene. That's
trying
what
to
it
get
is.
her phone.
Yes.
she's booking it for the phone. This is interesting, though, because you see, like, her trying to evade. I feel like the dog would know she's there.
Yeah.
Am I mistaken? I feel like those scenes, the dog would have the senses.
He does start barking at her, though, because she grabs the
okay.
bag.
They get into a fight over the bag, and she wins.
Oh,
but
yeah,
just
that's in the
barely.
bag, yeah.
Yeah, just barely, though.
So she's able to get her phone from the bag, and she's obviously no service in the parking garage. Makes sense. That happens all the time. I barely have service when I drive to
that
here.
makes sense.
So when she gets to the top floor, I guess, is where the exit is.
Yeah, she gets to like the end of the deck or parking garage.
And one of the scenes I hate watching this in every single movie that it's ever been in. Like, she's trying to get like the service, and she drops her phone. But then when she reaches to get her phone, her nail clips up.
Yeah, she rips her nail off.
It's like one of those like cringe.
It's so rough.
Because like pulls it out.
Because like when we did our like marathon for like Texas Chainsaw, I know we didn't cover it, but in the remake, there's a scene where the guy's holding on to the wall and his nails rip up. It's like, oh,
that's happened to me once before.
Really?
It is extremely, playing football, actually.
It skeeves me out so much. And
I had to, it is like extremely painful, obviously. Yeah. I'm just seeing it like, get off. But she's like really like, the way that she's doing this, she's still handcuffed.
Yeah.
And she'll put her hands are actually stuck and she can't get in there. So she has very, like, there's
limited
ability that she can actually get that phone back. And it's a shame because that is such a powerful light.
It really is.
She makes the call though, right? She was able to make, if I remember correctly, she was able to call 911.
Yes, she does call 911.
Like, be like, someone please help me, and said the address, but then that was it.
Yeah. She does get to the elevator.
Where's Karl?
Yeah.
She yells it like 1,400 times.
Where the fuck is Karl?
She needs to make sure she gets in touch with somebody.
She gets into the elevator, but I actually didn't understand. The lobby button doesn't work.
Oh, that's right. Well, I mean, is that just because they locked down the floors, maybe?
Is that why you can only go through the parking garage floor? Okay, so maybe, I don't know buildings, so maybe like at a certain point of night to stop people from breaking into the garage, like if someone were to break into the garage, the lobby button's disabled so they can't get into the building. Is that like a thing that maybe...
I would assume so, yeah. I mean, like the security in the buildings now, it's just absolutely wild. But yeah, I think it had something to play.
That would actually make sense because it'd probably be easier to break into a garage than the building. Yeah. And then this way they prevent people from actually getting into the building through the garage. Okay, that would make sense. She does actually get, since she's in the elevator, she starts like hitting the security button. And like, did you guys instantly know this was Tom on the other line doing a fake Spanish accent?
I just knew. I just had the feeling.
You get the response is like, relax. I'm not gonna try to do an Indian accent. I'm gonna butcher it.
I don't know was it Indian or Spanish? I couldn't even tell.
I think my subtitles had Indian accent.
Okay,
I think it was Indian
brackets, and I was just like, this is like, he's like reverse prank calling. Yeah, this is
you got to relax. That was Spanish. See what I just?
No, but that's how. Because that's what I think that's what Wes Bentley sounded like, though. That's why I was so confused because he's like, relax, it's going to be okay.
You got to relax. Please, miss.
This was like a casserole of accents for him.
It was like watching Jeff Dunham stand up. That is what it reminded me of. Those accents he does with his puppets. I thought that's what Wes Bentley was doing.
If he pulled out a puppet during the movie, I think we would have just gone full into Jeff Dunham comedy special.
Oh my god!
He tells her to relax 14 times, and she's saying there's a killer. Like it's so obvious it's him. Like it's so painfully obvious.
It's almost more obvious than the killer in our last movie we reviewed.
Yeah.
So she's like, yeah, I'm just not going to get out of the elevator. Actually, a smart strategy. Just stay there till the next day. But little does she know he has this fire hose that he just dumps on top of the elevator.
I actually really like this scene. But you also bring up a very interesting point that I was thinking about when I was watching the film is like, we don't technically know when Christmas Eve, Christmas Day fall. So you've got to think, and this is what scared me the most, is that you say wait till the next day. If it was like the weekend,
that's a good
she
point.
Could have been trapped there for like 72 hours.
That's actually a good point.
From this dude, and how long can you keep that up for?
That's true, because if Christmas Eve was on a Friday,
she's fucked.
Because then Saturday's Christmas, which means everyone would have off Monday even for Christmas
as the observed day.
Yeah,
so that's wild to me.
She could be there from Friday to Tuesday,
like that.
Logistically,
this guy planned this shit out perfectly.
Damn. He's a genius.
He is a genius.
He would have had to know that she would have been working late.
Yeah. But if he always, like he said, he's been watching her, so he would know she's like always last. She's like that. She's the perfect football player. First one in, last one out. You love the grind.
But like,
she's the Peyton Manning of office work.
If anything happened, like if she had to go early, if there's something happened where she had to work from home or like, remote work probably wasn't in back then, but like if she had to like do anything for the holiday upcoming, his whole plan is foiled. He has a kidnapped man that's roped. He's got to kill him now.
Yeah.
Like his plan is just completely thrown out the window.
That's the thing with this movie though. It's like, there's no way he was ever getting away with this, right?
No.
3 dead bodies, and the only one alive is the security guard? What was the plan?
Well, I mean, he obviously, after he kills her boss, he hid the bodies because did you guys notice there was a scene where he put a bunch of pallets?
God. Yeah.
I think he just stuffed a bunch of pallets over where the guy died, right?
I feel like the police would notice the blood splatter all over that wall because a couple of pallets ain't hiding that.
Well, it was really funny because it was later on, it's the stereotypical cops that are just kind of like shine a light and they go, I'm not doing that.
No.
I'm not looking at that.
I ain't moving that pallet.
I ain't doing that. Hell, why is there blood by that pallet? Maybe somebody injured themselves.
It must have been a homeless man shooting up.
And it's like, he in his heart of hearts thought he was going to get away with this because he was going to Stockholm syndrome her into just falling in love with him, and they'd walk out together, and it would have been a happy ending. I think that's what he genuinely believed.
Isn't that all how all happy couples start? Like Stockholm syndrome them in? Like
You lock them in a parking garage until they love you. That's what you're supposed to do.
Isn't that true love?
Yeah, but that's what he says. He literally says that. He's like, this is how we become friends, and we maybe
the elevator.
become lovers. Like
he's like, people fall in love in very stressful situations.
Yeah.
He's like, so let me drown you in an elevator.
This I actually really like this scene.
Yeah, because so the water just starts pouring in, and
I'm be fucking freezing
well,
cold.
she does shiver a lot. The water though starts pouring in so much that Karl falls in from the top of the elevator roof.
And
there's Karl.
Yeah, Karl.
I was very confused by this because I'm assuming that he killed Karl and put his body in the top of the elevator so that no one would find it, right? Because there was also this part of me that was like, did he just happen to throw Karl's body down there while the water was going down just as a sick joke? Like,
it's also very possible. I wouldn't put it past him.
Just to remind her that she's completely and utterly fucked in this situation.
So she knows Karl's dead. She's smart, though. She grabs the keys from him now, too, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
She always, she's one of those people that I actually appreciate in horror movies where even though she's, scared and it's stressful, she's always doing the smart thing. Like, she's always looking for the keys, looking for the phone. Yeah. She's trying to, use her resources. I like that. I hate when it's just
she's
a
not
dumb
useless.
Yeah, I hate watching a dumb character.
Grab a bunch of key cards, a bunch of stuff.
She ditched the heels early.
Yeah, exactly. Right? I'm not watching Jurassic World where I have to watch her run through heels throughout the jungle the entire movie. I'm like, no one runs 20 miles an hour in heels.
No.
I'm not talking about Jurassic World. So now that Karl is dead and she's hiding again from Tom, I think this is where she picks up the axe, right? And she starts going around with the axe, and she gets back into she starts breaking all the cameras.
Yeah, I think she just tries to destroy as many cameras as she can to get as close to the security
office
booth as possible, right?
Yes, because when she gets into the booth, Tom and Rocky are no longer there, but she sees the creepiest video.
Wait, this is... Oh, hold on. Doesn't he do a whole Blue Christmas Elvis?
Oh, while she's breaking the security cameras.
Which I absolutely loved, and I was starting to wonder, and I'm like, okay, he's got black hair, he's got blue eyes. I'm like, is he just supposed to be creepy Elvis? He's just supposed to be really creepy Elvis,
you know what?
Right?
Elvis always wore the white, jumpsuit. He's in a white security guard.
He's an Elvis impersonator. He literally had a photo on his
desk. That's right, he does.
He fucking loves Elvis.
Yeah, he does have that photo.
He is absolutely deranged. I think he does a better Elvis than Austin Butler did in the Elvis movie. But still, he's doing the thrust thing and he's just getting fucking into it.
Pelvic thrusts.
Oh my god, it was so sexy.
Those magical hips that kids couldn't even look at back in the 50s.
And he's holding the fucking bear and saying her name and just getting real fucking passionate with it. He was so
He was gonna fuck that bear.
Oh, he was straight up gonna fuck it.
I love Elvis Christmas music.
Oh, it's great. It's absolutely great. It's just not. It's still. It comes off as creepy when Wes Bentley's doing it, but it's great.
Mainly with the thrust thing, mostly.
Angela will get into the office. He's not there anymore doing the Elvis, and she sees the tape now. She sees her in the white dress, and Tom is like, "Oh, you look really. Your skin is so soft."
Straight up cops a feel, and it's so fucking frustrating because he literally just pulverized a guy for getting too wasted in an elevator and then just pushing himself up on her. And he straight up gropes her on fucking video, and he's going to be like, that guy's a rapist.
I know.
You're a sloth.
He's chloroforms her, feels her up.
Look, No one should be going out there ranking rapes and sexual assaults and stuff like that, but I'm going to rank them. His is worse.
Oh, 1,000 times worse.
His is a lot worse. They're all bad, but on the scale, that man has a chloroformed woman he's currently feeling up. And it's not just
and he
like...
dressed her himself, right? That was
Yes,
all him.
yes.
He did all. He had to have disrobed, taken all her clothes off, which she was fucking layered because it was cold out,
Yeah.
and put her in that outfit.
I think it was the scene where like he initially has her in the room with like the dinner,
Yeah.
and she's like, you can clearly tell her she's like processing what has happened.
Yes.
Because she wakes up chloroformed. I'm sure there's an area. She starts puking because she's probably confused.
Yeah.
The
And
Santa
shit.
outfit was pretty good doing that part. Where
Oh
he was
my
like,
God.
Oh, fucking scared the shit out of her doing that.
And
But
I
she's, like,
love...
doesn't talk. She's processing it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. So she does actually. I'm surprised. Like, I feel like I never really saw her in other movies other than like Rage with Nick Cage.
And she doesn't really do much in that movie.
She honestly does a really good job at like acting out her emotions through her face, like seeing the visible like disgust and frustration
does
as
a
she's
good job.
watching the video. I think she does a very good job in this movie.
Yeah, like Brian was saying, like even in that scene where she's watching the recording and she's
Yep.
processing, she came in there to like I think call the cops
Yes.
again, and it just fucking derailed her watching that because she was so angry, you know.
Every right to be too.
He's a fucking tech savant. How he has all the shit set up perfectly timed.
Why? Well, dude, that's what I'm saying. He is the, like, I agree with you. He's the guy from American Beauty. Knows how to work a video camera. Knows how to capture the most beautiful moments. Plastic bags. Sexual assault. The man is sick. So she axes the TV. So the TV is dead. She kills the
brain
TV.
Destroys it.
Then she sees the police show up on like camera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Tom just comes from behind and tasers her, which I think I read somewhere because I was curious that tasers don't knock you out. They like stun you,
Yeah.
but they won't like knock you unconscious.
Right. She was. What was her? Were her eyes open or she like went to sleep?
She like went to sleep.
He tases her again on the ground.
He wants
Yeah.
to, yeah.
He's like,
Make
he's
sure.
just like, stay here, zzz, and then
I-
fucking goes.
It's that thing where the whole movie's like, I don't want to hurt you. I'm not gonna hurt you. Tries to drown her, tasers her, but I'm not gonna hurt you.
Yeah. He literally says that. He's like, I'm not going to hurt you.
Yeah.
But doesn't he stuff her in a car?
Yeah. He also does that. He stuffs her in the trunk.
He does it out of love. It's tough love.
It's It,
Is it her car that he stuffs her in?
He does. Yes, it was her car.
I think it was
Yeah.
her. Her BMW.
Yes. So Tom gets in the car with the police because the police are like, see anything weird tonight? We've heard some noise complaints, stuff like that. He's like, no, nothing out of the ordinary. And he is so suspicious. And the cops act like they know he's suspicious, but also act like it's Christmas Eve, so they just want to half-ass their
They don't want
job.
to be bothered.
They want to go home so badly, and it's like, again, they did the stereotypical, like, not my fucking problem thing where they, like they go down, I think, to the lower level where the flooding happened, and he shines a light. He goes, what the fuck is that? Doesn't get out of the car. If he had just walked 20 feet, he would have found probably Karl's body, because fucking Tom, all he did when he saw Karl's body was like, thanks for ruining Christmas, asshole.
Oh, my
and
God.
left it. Like, they would have immediately discovered, like, 2 crimes.
Yeah, you think they would. It's clearly like water's like gushing from that hallway.
They went stereotypical New York on this, and I think the homeless person later, which was one of my favorite parts.
Oh my God. that scene might have passed already.
Okay, so yeah, the homeless person, right? When she's, because she was calling on the phone,
Yeah.
and she was like, help, someone's trying to kill me. The fucking homeless person just mimicking her.
Can you imagine just getting mocked by a homeless woman as you're like...
That's the worst.
The only homeless woman in New York City on Park Avenue pushing a shopping cart full of recyclables because no one apparently else walks on the street. In New York City.
That's my main problem with the movie is I've been to New York.
Yeah, since-
I know no matter what time you are at New York, there's just people there.
If you
Dude,
can
it's
get
Christmas time to be fucking.
Packed.
because people are getting
So
blasted.
crowded.
People are getting fucking blasted. I mean,
Yeah.
if the bars are open till like fucking 3, 4 a.m., you know people are out and about.
Yeah.
Someone would have heard it.
Especially since she's in a nice ass office building. It's an area where people are gonna
Literally
be.
about to say that. It's just such a commercial district.
Yeah.
There's gonna be so many
It would
people.
never be a barren wasteland like that.
If they did it if they said they shot it like where they actually were, and you said Toronto, right?
They filmed in Toronto.
Then I would have found that more believable to be
Yeah.
like, all Canadians go to sleep by 9 p.m. This makes sense. This
Yeah,
checks out.
exactly. But they place it in New York, so it is what it is. While Tom is driving around with the cops, Angela wakes up in the trunk, and she's trying to call for help. But forgot to mention, Tom is blasting Elvis music through the speakers.
Oh yeah, because for some reason the one camera she didn't destroy is focused on her car, so he makes sure that he drowns her out while she's trying to break out of the trunk.
The cops are there. They just don't notice the loud Elvis music that just gets turned on.
Yeah, they don't
every
question it.
speaker in the parking garage.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it was Santa Baby actually.
Was that
yeah,
was?
He didn't go full Elvis there. He actually,
Santa Baby.
It was
because
okay.
Elvis would have been sus. I think if he put on Elvis, they would have been like, "That's fucking weird. What is wrong with you?" So he put on Santa Baby, and he's like, "I just like the acoustics." Basically, the cops were like, "That checks out, weirdo." Okay.
Yeah. Here's the interesting thing. Santa Baby's got a lot of breaks in it. It wouldn't be my song of choice if
No.
you're trying to cover up someone screaming. Because it's like a softer song,
Yeah.
right? But I guess it was so loud.
Probably he is blaring it. So the cops don't do a good job. They just leave. They leave as Angela escapes from the trunk too. Perfect timing.
They
as
run over
always.
the phone too.
Yeah, they do run over her phone. So like when she like jets it to get to the cops, Tom is just standing there with Rocky.
That shot is amazing. Though.
It's a really good shot. The way he looks
the
at
door
her,
going down, he's like, "I fucking got you now."
I would literally never hurt you.
and then unleashes the pit bull on her
hound.
or whatever it is.
Yeah, the dog of war.
Yeah.
Dog of war.
Yo, Rachel Nichols is fucking running though.
She has a good gap from him.
Yeah.
But that dog's probably going to close that quickly.
Yeah.
She knows that. She knows it.
So she gets right in the car. She fucking smashes it with a tire iron, jumps in the car. Dog just jumps
Jumps
in.
right in.
Yeah, and gets her leg.
It does, bites her
Bites
leg.
her leg.
She does get the last laugh against the dog. She stabs the dog in the head with the tire iron.
She fucks this dog up.
Yeah.
But like the thing, like you thought, they did a little bit of a jump scare, right?
Yes, yes.
Because it's like, "Brr," and
not
she-
dead yet.
and
They
gets
did
it,
that
but,
thing
like,
from freaking Scream where it just
fucking annihilated that
They had
dog.
to make sure that thing was never moving again, which is fair because that thing would have literally tore her to pieces. It looked like it was trained well.
yeah.
Well, it just defeats the whole purpose of what we've been saying, where he's like, "I would never hurt you," but this dog literally would have ate her for dinner.
100%. And I love that when he's looking for her and gets there, he's like, "You killed my dog?"
So another, I can't claim credit for this, but I was blown away. So another Becca with 2C's comments. I was trying to drag her here, but she just was too busy sitting in her comfy playing Skyrim. So she's
Fair.
like, "I'm not doing anything."
Very fair.
today." But she said it would have been better if the dog's name was Elvis.
That would
Because
be-
they'll be
Yeah.
like, "You killed Elvis!" Like that would have
Really
been.
cool.
But anyway, it's like I tried to even see if there was a correlation between like Elvis culture and Rocky, but I just went too far down
Yeah.
the rabbit hole. But yeah, he's fucking pissed.
Yeah. So now they do car jousting.
Yeah.
Yes, they
Yeah.
do.
Well, she calls 911 one more time.
Yeah.
But apparently, and I didn't. Does 911 do this in the city? They were like, "Yeah, please hold." And she went into the rental car place, calls them, right? And then fucking, they're like, "Yeah, please hold." And I'm like, "I'm sorry, you're New York City 911."
So I don't know about hold, but one thing I do know about 911 calls, the second you dial 911,
They know.
everything is being recorded.
Yes.
So from the second like the ring ends, anything you say is recorded. So even if she was on hold, she could say her problem and it would all be recorded.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense.
So-
Yeah, all right, so even if there was a backup on the lines, because I'm assuming if there's like a major
Yeah,
emergency,
exactly. There might be.
everybody's calling in.
There would be a recording of what you're saying they could listen back to. I know everything you say on a 911 call is recorded as the second the call is made. So in theory, she could have just said what it was and then still ran from the phone. And if the police are good police, they would know the situation and get there, which is kind of, I'm assuming, what happens because she never actually gets through, right?
She doesn't, but like eventually, well, not spoiling too much, but eventually at the end of the film, you do see emergency services arriving
Yes.
when she's getting out. But it's just really funny because, you know, obviously Tom sees his dog. He goes into the rental car place and they have a little bit of she sprays him in the eyes.
Oh my God, yes, that's right. She sprays him with like bug pesticide or something.
Yeah, just burns him. But it was funny because when he got to the phone, she still left it off the hook, hoping that the cops would hear her have a tussle with him or
Yeah.
something. And he just is like, "I'm fucked," and just like slowly hangs up
Yeah.
the phone. But like at that point, they just like know your location. He's screwed.
Yeah.
He's screwed.
Yeah.
And like the killing of the dog is like, you gotta assume that's literally all he has.
Yeah,
It's
that
probably
was
his only friend.
Well, like your quote where he's like, "And I'll be all alone."
He literally, I think that kind of, I want to believe he got driven to madness because he became so utterly obsessed with what he sought as a loner
Yeah.
in her, Angela, because she was always the last one in the building. She always was working. She was always by herself. I think he might have developed a bond with her from afar which is what drove his obsession to wanting to be with her
Yes,
romantically.
because he thought they were both just always alone.
Right, exactly. Like, I'm going to be in this building all alone, which is how he saw her too.
Yeah.
Which makes a lot of sense, but like she didn't see it that way.
No.
That slut.
He thinks you're a slut.
You're trapped in here for one night, bitch. I'm trapped in here every fucking night.
Yeah, dude. I love when he gets angry. Dude, also, I was cracking up when the spray was in his eyes, and he was just trying to measly throw the chair into the glass, and he kept slipping.
Epic.
That was like, it took him like at least 3 times
Oh,
before he
my
Well,
God.
conveniently until because she had grabbed a bunch of the rental car keys and was just trying to find one car that would,
Oh, my God.
just enough time for her to get to the vehicle.
Yes.
Right?
So they face off head to head, and they just start driving towards it. He chickens out.
Yeah.
Well, I think he was hoping she would just fuck up, which she does. But I think the way that she fucked up made me so angry because,
Yeah, it was
like,
tough.
okay, I even on the way here today tried to drive like Angela did with her handcuffs, and I put my hands like this, and I'm like, this stupid bitch can't drive because I was just because in the beginning when she gets in the car, which by the way I didn't check if it was a Toyota or not because that would have been fucking hilarious.
That actually would have been.
She demolishes the thing, drives it against the fucking rail, and like, I actually thought she was going to make it because all she had to do was just juke him out and then drive up because she wanted to ramp through the gate.
Yeah.
That was it. And she fucks up
Well,
so bad.
because she was taking the turns too fast. She just had to
jumps the curb and flips
Yeah.
the
She
car.
literally does a flip in the garage.
Yeah,
It's
she
crazy.
just had to slow down on the turns. Like once she got ahead of him and he had actually turned around, and she just slows down a little around the turns.
Yeah.
Like I thought more realistically what could have happened is she could have smashed into the gate and just smashed into the gate and the
Nothing
gate didn't open. Because I don't think those gates would fall. They're like the kind of like loose.
It's a metal gate. I
Yeah.
don't know if it would. I mean, she might have maybe pushed it, but then she would have had to get out of the car. And
Yeah.
I mean, you're still in a car accident. Like, yeah, he got her good with the T-bone in the beginning,
Yeah.
but once he got ahead of her, well, she got ahead of him, it was over.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. Like once she's flipped over, he goes to like get her out of the car
Isn't she like her face is like literally
on the thing.
Well, she fakes dead.
She's playing possum. The old possum routine. Feigning death. Because the second he goes to grab her, I don't know even what she had, but she stabs him in the eye.
a crowbar. She had a crowbar for a while. I don't know if that's what it was.
She maybe had a broken piece. It was either a key or a broken piece of the tire iron because well, no, I thought, did she leave the tire iron in Rocky when she killed him? I forget. But she had something sharp. that
Yeah,
she
I
grabbed.
don't know what
Scissors
exactly.
Or
Yeah.
something. Right.
She stabs him directly in the eye.
Oh, fucks him up.
Then she handcuffs him to the
Oh, gets him real good,
Yeah.
actually, here.
and we see the gas leaking. And he's like begging her. He's like, I just thought we could have a nice dinner. He's like, it could have been nice. I just wanted a nice night with you. Like, realistically, he could have probably just asked her out.
Well, that was the interesting thing, right? Because at one point during the dinner scene, right after he knocked her out and brought her back too, either she poses it or he poses it, where she's like, "Why don't we have a drink after the holidays over?" And he's like, "Oh, really? You mean it?" And then that's when he's like, "You're a fucking liar." Like he knows that's not going to happen.
Yes, but like I meant before he went to the psycho plan. Like he's not a bad looking guy.
Just like in general.
Yeah.
Just like taking the shot. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, granted, he's a psycho, so that probably never crossed his
The way
mind.
he did it was just like really, really, really creepy.
Yeah.
And really like I think too forward.
Well, because your first date with a woman isn't in your security guard office eating microwave turkey.
Yeah, I mean, like, that's just not right. Also, the fact that she's trying to get out at all costs to your family. There's, like, the move wasn't the right.
No, it was a terrible move.
And I think that setting it up for the future just looked very bleak. I think outside of this, probably still no, but maybe has a shot.
So you're telling me there's a chance.
Well, I think realistically he had a chance up until this scene because she's actually going to leave him.
Yeah.
Just alive, tied up, probably inform the police. But he does. He breaks the one cardinal rule. Calls her a cunt.
You don't do that.
That's it.
You
You're
don't call a woman a cunt.
Yeah, you can.
Unless you're British.
Because then you're a cheeky cunt, and that's a term of endearment.
That at the age of 3.
It's reverse language, though.
Yeah.
It's like different. Like you can't say it. They're probably the language. What it pisses them off is probably not what pisses us off.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. So, yeah, Yeah, she just like the second she hears that C word, she turns around and she's like, "You motherfucker!" And she just puts
She lights it on fire.
Which
She
is a happy
tasered.
holiday, Merry Christmas, whatever it was.
You think she'd have a lighter, a blowtorch? Nope, she has the taser that she causes the fire with.
Yep, and it just. I love in all movies, I love a slow fire crawl towards someone. I always think those shots are so cool. And when he just gets engulfed in flames, I kind of wanted him to just keep shouting slut. But
I wanted to be like, all the smoke.
I thought it was wild, I think, even during that scene, because the car combusts, too. Like, he's still moving.
Yeah.
There was this part of me that secretly wanted, like, right when she got to the gate, just hear Angela. And he's just fucking burnt and just moving. Like, he doesn't realize he's dead yet.
well, he was fucking twitching like windows from the thing when he's on fire.
Yeah.
It was,
Oh my God.
it was wild. But now the most unrealistic part of the movie is she gets outside and there's no one there, like we said. Like, no one. They actually do, like, a big pan out, and it is a barren wasteland. This is post-apocalyptic New York.
Yeah, it's like I was saying, too, that is not Park Avenue. I get it. It was filmed in Toronto, but they, like, didn't even try to make any remote effort. And you can see how well this movie has aged, because I distinctly remember they always show the outside shot. There's a fucking audiobook store. Where the
I know.
What?
Yeah.
What? Like, how long were those in business for? You know what I mean? Like, it's just, you really see how dated films can get for just the little things, right? And the fucking emergency services are coming down the street. Then they do the pan out. It's like, are you okay, lady? Like,
I love it. I love... Like, no New Yorker accent is stronger than a firefighter or a cop in a movie.
That's true.
They always give them the thickest accent in Boston or New York.
Forever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I was birthed in the police station.
Well, I mean, in a way, it sort of makes sense, because aren't, like, a lot of those jobs, like, for, like, I know, like, where we grow up, like, everybody I knew that's been in town generationally is in a fire department.
Like, Blue Bloods is literally your life if you live in this area. Like, someone you know, or your father's mother has a top friend. Like, it's just crazy.
Oh, man. And that's P2.
That is it. I will say, though, my favorite part in the credits is the holiday-style photos.
Oh, my God. Incredible.
So there's a shot of him in the fucking Santa outfit. There's a shot at, like, every scene is him, like,
happy.
Like, having fun, right? Fucking amazing film.
I loved it.
It was fun.
Yeah. All right, review. I absolutely loved it, as we said. Acting great. Like, Wes Bentley and Rachel Nichols both kill it in this movie. The music choices were great. Like the Elvis, the Santa Baby, we talked. I don't know how much we talked about this on air, but off air we were talking how just the atmosphere in general is very good.
Yeah.
The tight, close corridors,
Very
like the
claustrophobic.
yes, like it's a very realistic place to be trapped. As we learned through Tim, he was trapped in one,
Very
so we
scary.
confirmed it's real. I loved it. 7 out of 10. I'm gonna do it. It's the best of the Christmas movies we've reviewed. 7 out of 10.
It is the best of the Christmas movies for sure. This, it's a fun Christmas season we have planned. It is in terms of the film quality, absolute dog shit.
Yeah.
This is definitely the best one. I have it as a strong 6.
Okay.
But I did like it.
Yeah.
I liked it a lot. Obviously not a lot of, actors in it. I do like the side actors though, like Karl. I think
He was good in the little bit he was in.
the gruesome scene with the boss Jim was
Wild.
fucking one of the best kills I've seen in a while. It was really good. No, I mean I liked it. I think Rachel Nichols does a good job in terms of really like creating and building that tension and being resourceful, like you mentioned. I think the over the top Wes Bentley moments are absolutely incredible.
Incredible.
I loved when she was in the elevator and he gave us his best, extended warranty impression over over the comms. I love all of it. I'm about it. 6 out of 10.
When I was coming here today, I was debating giving this a 6, but then having gone through it with you guys and really just taking a little extra time to process it, especially some of those slots. The slots have elevated it from a 6 to a 7.
Let's
baby.
go.
On the slot machine.
I've just never heard anyone say that word like that.
I feel like if you're going to use that word, that's the only way you can say it from now on. It'll throw everyone off in the room.
Because it was like traveling like airborne right over flyover country and it just straight up changed tone. Great.
Love it. All right.
I mean, I think we got the kill.
Yeah.
I think we got the kill, but
Yeah,
we
we
can talk about
I-
it. Actually, I think we do have two.
Well, yeah, because we have the boss and we have Wes Bentley.
Oh, I'm not even going Wes Bentley.
Who was the...
I'm going the dog.
I was gonna go the dog
Really?
too,
Dog,
actually,
baby.
because it's not the dog's fault.
It wasn't.
It's not. Like, that's what that he was trained to be like that. That's not. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll flip
I was
the
thinking
Necro
Jim
coin.
and Rocky.
Okay, we can do that. We'll do
with
Jim and Rocky.
Also, the potential, we're not going to add it, but it's honorable mention, I think, for
Carl?
Angela's fingernail.
Oh, God.
Major
Brutal.
fingernail death. there.
All right.
It's brutal.
So we'll do this side for the doggy, and we'll do this side for Jim.
For the doggy.
Oh, wait, I gotta get a better flip.
He's gotta get a flip,
That was
Shane.
terrible flip. There we go.
Boy.
It's a dog.
Okay, we're going Rocky. Well, it's always, when we're on this podcast, it will always be an animal that gets put in the book.
It's funny, too, because now we're flipping coins, and it's still the dog. Rocky. You could have been a good boy, but I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you were trained by Danny. And that's why you were barking all the time, very misbehaved.
Being a
It's
nuisance.
just it's a complete buzzkill the entire movie.
Why are you even there?
Yeah. So we're kind of happy you went, but it is always rough to see an animal go. But we're a bunch of sick fucks here, so we always put the animal kill in the book.
It just happens to get there. We leave it up to fate, dude.
And fate's deciding it. So, Rocky, welcome to the Necronomicon.
That's it. That's it. I'm not gonna lie to you though. There's just that Jim death is by far one of the best deaths.
Oh,
100%.
It's a
like,
really
100%.
totally the deserving one. To
Yeah,
be in the
yeah,
book.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
just not how we do it.
No, we just put the animal. So, Tim, thank you for being on during the holiday season with us.
Thank you so much,
Awesome,
guys.
a lot of
as
fun.
always, really appreciate it.
This was a special one.
Yeah, let's see. What was
A
Tim?
lot of fun here.
Yeah.
What-
P2 was great.
What is Tim coming up on in the future? Tim is going to come back for an episode in March. So I'm not going to reveal what that episode is yet. It's way too far in the future, but just know Tim will be back in March for a very good movie.
Of course.
A very good movie.
What I would say is the Q1 of 2023 is fucking sick.
Yeah, so we're changing it up next year. We're doing good movies?
Yeah, we are doing.
What a twist.
We'll see how it goes, but we are doing a lot of like banger.
Yeah,
films,
we're
like some of the best.
All right, we're not going to open up with the first day of New Year's, like the New Year, because I didn't like it. Brian does.
I actually haven't seen that one yet.
No, the New Year's.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first
Gotcha.
movie in
Okay,
January.
Gotcha.
We'll get to that in like 2 weeks. So, but next week we have the finale of the Christmas season.
Yeah.
We have the main event, and I think you might have seen this movie, Tim. Our main event is Silent Night, Deadly Night 2.
So the first one's actually solid. We
Yeah.
reviewed that last year. But if you haven't seen the first one, don't bother watching it because you'll get a great summary in the second one.
Have you seen the full second one?
I actually haven't, but I'm very intrigued to see what you guys have to say about it.
I could tell you this: the first 48 minutes of the second movie is the first movie reshot. Not even reshot, actually the scenes from the first movie.
It just feels like they just do like an anime TV show remix where they're like, we're gonna have like almost an hour of content from stuff we already did, and then somehow just make it another film.
Yep.
There's actually more of the first movie in the second movie than there is second movie.
Yeah, there is. Because it's like 48, literally it's like about 48 minutes.
And the
of
movie's like an
recycled-
hour 28.
Yeah, recycled footage. It's absolutely, it's mind-boggling.
How many other films do that? That's like, I feel there's other horror movies that have done something.
I feel like It Chapter Dude did a little bit of that.
A little
Yeah.
bit.
But this was like really like hardcore scenes of the first one. Like they actually give you the same. It's not even like they shot additional content.
It's just the scenes.
actual scenes from the first one,
Yep.
which is fucking crazy. And this is obviously one of those cult classic movies because it's so poorly acted.
Oh my
Like
God.
this is the Garbage Day movie.
Oh, yeah.
This is like all of that good shit with that last half an hour you're gonna get because the guy just goes on a murder spree in a suburban neighborhood. That's just one of the most hilarious runs I've ever seen. It's fucking epic.
Oh, baby. I can't wait.
It's horrible. It's on Tubi, but it's amazing.
Tubi
At the same time.
is the best.
It really is great.
I will say it was nice to watch P2 on Freevee. Although,
Freevee.
I don't know about you guys, but those ad placements for this horror movie were fucking bad.
Yeah.
Oh my God. So it's mid-sentence and they're just like, here's
Ray-Bans,
yeah.
skin cream. And I'm like, wait, is this the movie? Like, I got really confused at some point.
Skin cream.
Is like Freevee like a better quality movie version of Tubi?
I actually have no idea.
I mean, Tubi's got some good movies too.
It does.
So it's tough to say.
It's strange. It's all weird. But with that said, we are the final podcast signing off.
Last time I checked.
And we will see you next week for Garbage Day.
You know where to find us, www.thefinalpodcast.com for all content. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, wherever we are. And tune in every Monday for the Final Podcast, every Friday for our low-budget run of, just the absolute worst of horror movies. Even though we have done one really good recently. So, yeah, that's what catch you next Monday.